Darren Leslie Jr. here with my review of X-Men Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse is the ninth installment in the X-Men franchise, following this year's Deadpool and 2014's magnificent X-Men Days of Future Past. The story picks up 10 years after the events of Days of Future Past, when a mysterious force known as Insubnur awakens from slumber and declares that the world needs to be cleansed of the weak, so that the strong may strive. This declaration launches our favorite mutants on an adventure to stop Apocalypse and save the world from extinction. Now, to be fair, that's a bare bones analysis of the plot, but this is a review, not a this is what happens in the movie. Now, I had a blast with this film. I actually enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. I've absolutely loved the last two installments of the X-Men franchise, but this film has been receiving the best buzz. But as an X-Men fan growing up, there was still a lot to this movie that made me smile and howl with laughter. Whether it was Nightcrawler's wit and innocence, Storm's full power being displayed, or actually seeing the X-Men just hang out around the mansion or at the mall. The entirety of that mall scene was unfortunately chopped down for the sake of the film. Well, actually, it was completely removed. But we still thankfully see a few portions of that scene, though. It was nice seeing these mutants just be themselves, just be kids, to see the X-Men mansion actually in full flux. You got to see how it functions as a school, as a campus. It's really nice to see what everyone's doing when there's not a battle to be fought. I was also surprised about how organically they were able to introduce some of these characters into the film. Moria returns to assist the X-Men in locating this ancient mutant. Mystique returns, who is on a mission rescuing mutants and giving them a way out of persecution. She's held in very high regard in the mutant community because of what she did at the end of Days of Future Past, saving the president's life. With the marketing released for this film, I've always had problems with Mystique taking the leader role in this film, but within the context, they actually turned me around toward it. Because of how she is looked up to by all the mutants, it does make sense that she is leading the charge. Quicksilver speeds back in with another signature scene. His role is also expanded from Days of Future Past, which I love because Peter's portrayal of this character is great. Brings such a great energy to the films. Alex and Scott Summers join the screen together as well. It's nice to see Lucas Till back as Havoc, plus I love Ty Sheridan's take on Cyclops. He brings a rogue charm to the role, but also displays someone who's lost. He has a lot of growing to do, but hopefully one day we'll see him as the leader of the X-Men, and not just a love interest. Sophie Turner takes the mantle of Jean Grey and does a very good job at it. While I would have liked to see her telekinetic powers displayed on more of a grander scale, her scenes with Scott don't feel forced, and they actually have a great chemistry. I want to see more of these two. The entire cast does a fantastic work on this film, with my standout being James McAvoy. I just love the way he plays Xavier. He brings such a gravitas to it. You can tell he puts his all into playing this character. Fassbender is also great as always, but his involvement in the story is a little bit more on the spoiler side than others. Now let's talk about the main attraction, Mr. Everything They've Built Will Fall, Apocalypse. Apocalypse has a fantastic origin story which opens the film. He's a very threatening, scary presence who has a reason for being so hell-bent on destroying the Earth as we know it. Now, when they weren't close up on his face, I actually really enjoyed the look of Apocalypse. I loved what they did to his voice. There were times where I even jumped back, startled at his booming vocals. One of the many characteristics of Apocalypse is that he thinks he's God. Not a god, no, this guy thinks he's the Almighty, and he carries himself like that. Which is a pretty interesting way to look at a villain. He imbues a couple of mutants with an extra dose of power, those mutants being Psylocke, Angel, Storm, and Magneto. All are coaxed into joining Apocalypse in his quest for world destruction. I really enjoyed how Apocalypse picked his four horsemen, promising them vengeance and power, really digging into some of their greed and hopelessness. But I would have liked to see the more cult leader vibe of Apocalypse and the four horsemen explored more. Once these actors are in their suits, they get hit with the mute button. They become simple henchmen that give threatening stares and sinful smiles. Yes, I know that the horsemen are supposed to be henchmen and guards, but this isn't mind control. They all want to be doing what they're doing. Apocalypse has only enhanced their power. He hasn't taken away their personalities or their minds. I would have liked more interaction between the five of them. While I enjoyed the first two acts of the film very much, the third fell victim to some very odd editing and story choices that really just interrupted the flow of things. The final battle, while once again enjoyable, had moments that were dragged out for dramatic tension, but you never felt the tension. It was just simply dragged out. I found myself sitting there just waiting for the film to get to the point. Certain moments would have more impact if you just shaved a few seconds off, or hell, even a few minutes off. These characters know what they're supposed to do, so just do it. Don't wait, stand, and stutter. The world is ending. Some of these characters are withholding information and abilities that would stop all of this. One character has a huge light bulb moment that made me just roll my eyes. You knew that. Someone just told you that. The third act of this film really should have been condensed and shortened. It would have benefited the product as a whole. Also, this is a superhero movie, right? Why not some shots of them, saving people? Hell of a lot of destruction, but the world seems like an afterthought. Overall, X-Men Apocalypse was a blast. Didn't live up to the greatness that was Days of Future Past, which I consider one of the greatest comic book films ever made. I absolutely loved the first two acts, but the third fell victim to some odd choices that really interrupted the flow. Still, overall had fun with it. If you're an X-Men fan, I would really recommend going to check this out. I love the X-Men franchise, and I can't wait to see it continue. So, what you guys think of X-Men Apocalypse? Please let me know in the comment sections below, and what's your favorite X-Men film? Also, follow Majored Minor. It's an entertainment website a couple of friends and I are running. There you can check out movie news, album reviews, trailer reviews, and much more. And last but not least, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like hearing me talk about movies, please hit that subscribe button. Come join the conversation. I'll be glad to have you. I'm Darren Lacy Jr. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you guys next time.